How's it going, YouTube? op.poker James here. So we're back with another session review. This time we're doing $10 spin and goes, the regular ones. This is part of the Tetris promotion. We got a community member, Will Rodders, playing these. So we're going to look through how the games are. Maybe they're a little bit different, and we can talk about how to adjust while this promotion is on. But in general, this will just be how low stakes spin and goes are in 2021. So let's jump in and see what we think of the play. So we're doing a 2x multiplier here, but we're playing the Tetris spin and go leaderboard. So the difference here is, compared to a regular 2x multiplier, is that on top of the $20 prize pool, if you win, you get a decent amount of points for the Tetris leaderboard score. So what it does mean in general isn't too much, but it creates a situation now where the recreational players are looking at those line clears and thinking, okay, I actually want to win something. So they have a reason to try and play well and to try and win. So you would expect that to mean that they are less likely to go completely crazy on the small multipliers than before. What has actually happened from personal experience is that players seem to be doing way more conservative for the low prize pools, and then way more crazy for the higher prize pools where there's less Tetris points to be won. So it's been an odd one. I know some of you look at what multiplier is to, and then depending on that, change your strategy to it. Now with this Tetris leaderboard, it kind of throws a few things in the air. So we just guess, we just got to look at the players in general and rely less on those kind of bad extra aggro plays for 2x multipliers. Anyway, looks like Will Rodders has got their stack in big blinds. Okay. I normally like to have mine in chips, especially post-flop, but we can deal with big blinds. It's not a problem. I think whatever's easier for you is going to be the better play. I don't think we know either opponent. Oscar Star's the best MD. I don't know these players. The $10 spins do have the $1 million jackpot up top, so they are a little bit soft at the moment. Okay, here we go. We got a button limper. We got the label. I like it. This is good. One thing I might have a tell on so far. We'll see. Will Rodders might get some timing tells. We'll see. We'll see. I just noticed one thing. It was an ace high board, so yeah, we're always going to check it. But I am a little bit worried about how fast they bet, so we'll see later on if there's anything. Yeah, we'll see. Looks like if you got an opponent that's just taking nearly like a full time bank every decision, it's very likely they're multi-tabling or even mass tabling. So if they start playing well and they're taking a long time for each decision, yeah, I would say it's pretty likely they are a reg. So I guess we'll see. They played that straight pretty passively, so maybe they're not. But yeah, we've got one person labeled as recreational so far. That's good. Pocket freeze. Yep, I like just shoving. Even against recreational players, I like just shoving. I'm trying to figure out where this noise is coming from. I guess it's coming from the video. There we go. That should sort it out. Queen 4 suited. If we know both players are recreational players and aren't that aggressive, let's say they've been the kind of players that are just limping all the time, I think it's okay if you want to raise a little bit wider with those kind of hands. Jack 10 suited, definitely want to take this to a flop. I don't mind raising, I don't mind check calling. I think they're both perfectly fine options. Generally speaking, if you do want to check raise top pair, make sure you lean towards the top pairs with good kickers in general, because those are easier to play. But it is meant to be part of a mixed strategy to be check raising all the top pairs of different kickers. So yeah, that's more of a down to a frequency thing. When you're playing low stakes like $10 spin and goes, I think just generally only raising the higher kickers is a good idea. So let's say raising King Jack, Queen Jack, and then maybe occasionally Jack 10. I personally would check call on low stakes, but there's nothing wrong with the raise. And the sizing, you could go bigger, but I think 3 big blinds is perfectly fine with the hand. This turn card of a king is actually one that you should be betting quite a lot. You shouldn't be too scared of your opponent having a king unless it's a suited one. So you can continue betting Jack 10 for value, expecting to be called by worse. Obviously, naturally checking some of your worst check raised jacks is going to be okay. So if I had Queen Jack, I think I would keep betting. Jack 10, yeah, I prefer carrying on betting, but check calling is not going to be terrible. And now on the river, the flush is completed, but you've got such great odds here. I don't think you want to be folding to a bet. They give up, which is great. So let's see what they had. 5-3. I have no idea what they're doing with the turn bet. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not terrible, because you can have flush draws and straight draws that you stop betting, I guess. But on a king, are you really going to stop betting? Probably not. Anyway, nice little donation there. Calling, yeah, they are playing too wide from the button. If they're playing 5-3 suited, if you see these kind of players often, may as well make the note or the label that they're raising too wide from the button, or sorry, limping too many hands from the button. If you're playing 5-3 suited, playing too many hands. Lines are going up. Queen 4. So now we're effectively 8 or 9 big blinds deep. Yeah, let's say 9 to 10 big blinds deep, effective. I would recommend for most people, if you're playing low stakes spin and goes from the button at this stack size, to just be playing push or fold. Now, however, if you do play spin and go flash, or you have been playing micros or low stakes for a long time, you can start learning how to add some min raises in. But generally speaking, I would just say play push or fold. Yeah, it's a little tiny bit extra EV to be raising some really strong hands and then some of the weaker ones that don't want to shove. But it's probably not worth learning, especially at low stakes, where you know the calling ranges of your opponents are probably wrong. Often they're too tight. Some people are way too loose, but often they're too tight. Yeah, let's see how this pot goes down. Playing from the big blind, let's say you are in a big blind against the button raise at this kind of stack size, you want to be very, very tight. You don't want to be playing any old crap at this stack size now, especially because your opponents should have a very, very strong range. If you're playing anyone that's like semi-reg, they're often just going to have jacks, queens, kings, and aces only. So yeah, it could be very, very strong. Queen 10, I like shoving good. I like that. Hopefully we get it through. Yeah, so a hand like 9-7 here would have been, let's say you're facing that min raise. That is actually a hand that you can think about folding. especially as they've been limping a lot, and now it's the first time they've actually min raised. 8-7 here. I think you can overcall or shove. I prefer overcalling. I think Oscar Stars is being very passive so far, apart from that ace queen raise, which is standard. So you can play a freeway pot knowing that you can just check it down a lot. You don't have to worry if they do shove. You can just fold, and you will see what they have. So if they did it with a bluff, then you know not to do it next time. But yeah, I think against this, especially as they've been passive, we can just flat call and go to a flop. But now we're heads up. We've got queen 9. So they have min raised. Remember how much stronger they were in these min raised pots so far. From the button, they have been limping wide, and then the only raise we saw was ace queen. So I think his min raise range will be a bit strong, and the limp will be a bit weak. We'll see. I think it will relate. Normally, heavily relates to heads up as well. So queen 9 here. I would want to play a lot of post flop against this player. I think so. I would be limping, and if they shoved, I'd actually limp fold to the shove. So generally, this is meant to be a limp call hand. But yeah, I want to play post flop against them. They've been on the passive side of things, so I would limp fold versus a shove. If versus a non-all-in, it's an easy call still though. We haven't hit. We're going to be folding on this flop. And that's that. But yeah, if they had shoved, I would just give up. Queen 10, I think we're going to have to be running it if they shoved. I hope they don't. Okay. I would say against this player, you don't have to shove queen 10 here. But it's not a bad play, so let's just leave it. Yeah, stick to your standard game plan. Once you get under 10 big blinds, I would say try not to change your game plan too much. However, I would be trying to limp a hand like Jack 5. I would presume we're going to get to see a lot of flops. They had been passive so far. Yeah, we're getting way too short to be folding hands like this. Are we going to get lucky? We are. Yeah, nice. So let's go back to this and just chat. So we're 6 big blinds deep. At this stack size, if we face the shove, we should be calling. So when we get face a min raise, I would just be shoving any of the hands that we're going to stack off anyway. You might be against people that will min raise and then fold, which is amazing for you. This is something we never do at this stack size because you commit yourself way too much. And it's just easier to limp or shove. So yeah. Yeah, we shove. They've got ace 9. We can definitely start realizing that their min raise range seems incredibly strong. So as of so far, all of our limps are getting attacked actually. So we have to start thinking that they are changing their game plan for heads up. So we definitely want to put some traps in as a limp. I don't mind limping this. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Will Rodders. Nice. Plays well post flop against someone who's ISOing you a lot. You can stack off of it if you have to. On the flop, I see why you're thinking about raising. But they've made a smaller sizing. We probably want to raise, and that's because of the very first hand we played when they had 5-3 suited. We check raised them and they called with bottom pair, no kicker, and then did some silly stuff. So I think we're not against the kind of person that's going to bet their middle or bottom pairs and then fold to a raise. So I think we should raise our queen jack here. It's never going to be bad to just call though. But yeah, I think that's the play I would have gone for. I like a half pot bet on the turn, trying just to get some value if they had some worse pairs or your pair worse kicker. Or to give them still the room and the option to shove over you. Let's say they've got a draw and they've decided they don't believe you. So yeah, I like the sizing, half pot. Any bigger and it just looks like you're committed. So yeah, I like to play. Okay, seem to be tightening up, which they should be doing at this kind of stack size. You can't play 90% of hands at this point. You have to start folding some of the worst stuff, especially if you're against people that are raising your limps. So I would raise this against a limp, and the main reason I do that is I think their limping range is so much weaker than a well-balanced limp range, because we kept seeing the min raise hands like ace 9, ace queen off hands that should be shoving. I can't see why they wouldn't do the same thing with stronger hands that are actually okay to raise. So yeah, I would be putting Oscar Stars' limps to the test, at least to start with. I'd make it 2.5 big blinds as an ISO. If you have any like pre-flop charts, it's okay to just stick with them, but in a spot when you're playing a recreational, you can start making some adjustments, and that's the first thing I would do in this game, considering they've been doing these min raises with the strong hands, and then we'll see how they go from there. Making it 2.5 big blinds is what I'll do. You could go even bigger if you wanted to. Anyway. Okay, they do seem to be on the tighter side now that we're getting short. So that Jack 7 offhand, you folding there is, I guess, is because you've just seen them being quite tight and only raising pretty strong hands. So yeah, I think it's okay to be folding Jack 7 this short. I think it's okay. If you've got Jack 9 hands like that, I think it's too strong. But yeah, I'm with you on that fold. Okay, they seem to be going very tight. So now I would probably even not be raising the limps with 8-2 off. They just seem to be folding now. So their range that they inevitably play with is going to be probably too good to get them to fold versus a non-all-in raise. So yeah, at this point I'll just stick with the charts if you have them, or like your basic game plan against the reg. Just keep the same plan. So 10-4, we checked back the flop, which I like. And then when you face a double check, I don't mind betting pretty much anything on low stakes. I think check, and then check bet does get through a lot. Once they've checked twice, it does get through a lot. On a free flushing board, it might not get through as often because they might have a heart and then call, and they might have pairs and then not want to raise because they're scared of the flushes, or not want to lead out because they're scared of the flushes. So it's not going to do as well. But in general, as a general rule, if you check back the flop and then they check the turn, you can bet a lot of turns with quite weak hands and get lots of folds, I would say. This is just one of those boards where you might not get that fold for one of two reasons: either they've got a pair or they've got a heart. Do you want to bluff here? I think it's okay. We're trying to get a 6 or a 2 to fold, really. So I wouldn't say there's a reason you don't need to be shoving. Again, we're playing a recreational, so we don't have to worry about balanced sizings. We're just trying to get a 6 or a 2 to fold. So yeah, I don't mind betting 1.5 big blinds, 2 big blinds, 2.5 big blinds, somewhere in that region, I would say. I think 2.8 is a little bit too big. The smaller sizing should do the job anyway, so. Get it through. Nice. Yeah, I don't think you just need to commit that many chips. So we've got them down really short now. Easy shoves now. Just play push or fold at this stack size. 5 big blinds and less, always just play push or fold. And locked down. Very nice. So yeah, as a general, I would say that these 2x multipliers for the Spin and Go Tetris have become a little bit tougher because you no longer got people just wanting to gamble and go on to the next one. Now they've got a reason to keep playing, which is obviously not good for us. But it does create the opposite situation. Let's say someone's just trying to hunt a good Tetris score and they hit a 3x multiplier or a 5x multiplier. They might start gambling on those as well, which did seem to happen. I had a 3x multiplier and had people just shoving random garbage when I was doing the 25s leaderboard. So I think it's possibly going on elsewhere. But yeah, World Rodders has been playing a really solid game. I was a bit scared of them going to have timing tells, but I guess it's just that they never lead from the big blind facing a button. Limp, which I think is a mistake when you're not facing any actual aggression. I think there are certain boards and flops that you do want to lead out against limps. So yeah, just look for those spots. Generally, if you've got top pair on a low board, those kind of hands, those spots I would want to be betting. And then you can add some bluffs if you think your opponent isn't a massive station. so yeah, but yeah, overall well played. I like how you navigated through that and definitely deserved that win, I think. So yeah, nice game. So if you enjoyed that recording with Will Rodders, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll be doing plenty more session reviews in the future. If you personally want a session reviewed, we do offer them for free if you're lucky enough for me to pick them out of the hat and start doing them. If you want any details on how to do that, check the description down below if you want your game analyzed or reviewed. Generally, I would like them to be spin and goes, but I have done a spin and go max, so I guess we could have some of that as well. Yeah, I really enjoy doing them and they're not too much hassle for me to do. So yeah, keep them coming. And if you like them, let me know in the comments. All right, I'll see you next time. Peace.